Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, when I say everybody, we've got a couple missing from that from the intro, haven't we?
Yeah, we have definitely. In fact, Andy, you're missing off it and all.
No, I'm here, mate. I'm here. So we're going to have to say why they're not here tonight, are we? Well, Stan and Riz didn't make it back from Germany. John, explain why.
Basically, when you run down the high street naked, then you're bound to get arrested and put away. You know what I mean? We had to come back without him.
So when are they looking at getting back?
Well, depends what happens, doesn't it? You know, it depends what he's charged with.
Yeah. Anyway, how are we? Have you had a good weekend?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, good. Let's kick off straight with the Bournemouth match. I just thought we were very good. I thought Grealish was good again.
I thought it might be a bit of a banana skin actually, Bournemouth, but it was quite comfortable in the end. We played really well. Pity we conceded again.
Yep.
But you know, we did all right.
Just say a quick good evening to Charlie and the rest of the guys. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Anne-Marie, pleased with the performance?
Yeah, I was pleased with the performance. I think we look a far better side with Diaz in it. I thought Foden played well. And to be honest, we made it look easy in the first half. We could have had a lot more goals.
Yeah, we could have done.
But, you know, Alvarez made a big difference, I think, as well. Playing up there with Haaland. So I think, it's a promising sign going forward. And the fact that we've got, all being well, we've got Stones back, Laporte, Kevin. It's a good sign.
Well, John, it made me look a bit of a, well, not made me look a bit of a pillock because that's standard, but I just thought Rico was playing in the De Bruyne area. Yeah, I know his work rate defending is better than De Bruyne's, no doubt about that, but it just didn't make sense putting Rico in the De Bruyne area when we're crying out to supply Haaland.
Yes and no. We needed a lot of running in midfield, and Pep noticed that. And if you look at the first goal, it was all down to Rico anyway. Just the tackle he did, and he did it. He absolutely ran his socks off. He was brilliant to get that game. I can't fault him. And for such a young player, he can only come on in leaps and bounds. And it looks like we've actually got a little superstar there.
Yeah, Anne-Marie, I was pleased to see Gomez get some minutes.
Yeah, I was as well. And I think it'll do his confidence good. The interesting thing for me was we didn't look as secure at the back when Walker came on.
You're right there. You're actually right.
And you sound surprised. And I'm not sure whether that bodes well for Walker coming, in the future. I think he's always got a mistake in him. I think he relies on his pace, which hasn't seemed to help him that much in recent games when he's been playing. I think Rico did a great job on Saturday.
He did. I just thought, like what Charlie's saying there, it was no different from our recent performances. The fact was that we was just more clinical going forward, I think. Yeah, I agree with that. It almost seemed, Charlie, like the past two games in the Champions League and against Forest, we had plenty of chances, but we couldn't execute that second goal. It seemed like we was hell-bent on executing that second and third goal, so the previous two performances didn't occur again. Would you agree with that, guys?
That's football.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can happen, but it's one of those. that Forest game was just one of those days when nothing was going right on that game. We could have been there for a month of Sundays and not scored another goal. Just would not go in. We hit everything else apart from the actual back of the net.
Yeah, but we're at the business end of the season now, where that Forest draw could be crucial come the end of the season. Like FIFA players saying there, can we terminate Cancelo's loan and get him back? I don't think that'll happen. I can't even see him coming back in the summer. It seems more deep rooted to me. That
Cancelo's gone. Simple as.
Yeah, I'd go away. I'd go with that. It was just good. Traveling to Bournemouth straight after Germany. I just thought the boys did very, very, very well.
Yeah, they did. Well, if you think about it, though, you say travelling to Germany, it's not as though they've travelled like us lads, was it? We flew to Cologne, drove from Cologne over to Leipzig, 5 hours. They didn't do anything like that. It was dead easy for them. It's only an hour and a half.
We still must take it out, and that's the pleasing thing for me, John, because traditionally any team what goes away playing in Europe, and then they've got an away game straight after that, it's normally a tricky match. But I thought it was so professional. And I would go with what Charlie said about us putting the chances away, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, I agree. I think, we were more clinical in front of goal. And I think that's something that, we need to be working on more and more, because it's not like we're not creating chances. Mm-hmm. But it appears at times that there's a reluctance to take a shot.
Yeah.
They want to tee it up for like nearly the perfect goal where you can walk it in, and it doesn't have to be like that.
No, we've got a special guest with us here now, Martin from the Man. Is it Martin? Is it the Mancunian way, or is it them Cunian way these days?
I don't know. What do you mean special guest? Bloody special.
How are you, buddy? How are you, buddy?
Well,
okay.
Well, I know exactly why Riz isn't here. He can't get back from town because of the open top bus parade that's going on. There's 2 million people that are in there.
No, we've established it. He's not actually made it back from Germany, mate, because John was with him and he was running naked down the streets apparently and got arrested.
I thought he was stuck with the 2.5 million fans that are down in town at the minute celebrating the League Cup.
Yeah.
Sorry, World Cup.
So how's your world been since the Bournemouth game, mate?
Very good. I'm trying to stay off Twitter and everything else because some City fans are getting on my tits at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of staying off that at the moment.
Can I apologise? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. I'm getting annoyed with some City fans at the minute, and it's really not good.
Martin,
I'm not apologising if you're swearing. I'm apologising for getting on your tits.
Yeah, well, I have read some of your tweets moaning and complaining.
But I think you've got a valid point, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just sick of it. Well, expectations have changed. It's your fault. All used from Main Road. It's all your fault.
I have noticed a bit of a divide. What's actually happening? It's sort of like us old school. I know I shouldn't class myself as old school because I don't look it. But we are sort of like being accused of you'd settle for anything because you've been shit. Over the years.
Yeah, settle for mediocrity, and it's not a thank you for keeping the club alive when it nearly went under. You know what I mean? It's none of that. Well, I don't know.
They don't even know that side of it, do they?
It's a different time now, I guess, and it's like we concede one goal and everyone has a meltdown. It's like we won 4-1. What are you moaning at?
Well, look at that, and as by magic, there, Martin, Charlie's quote. Walker was at fault for their goal, letting then crossed the ball, and that's it. You know, everyone went into meltdown. You know something? I'd have took a 1-0 win against Bournemouth on Saturday.
And I don't mind criticism on players. Charlie's got a valid point there. But do you know why we conceded the goal? Because everyone becomes Pep Guardiola, and it's, you know, everyone wants to make 5 substitutions a game. And what happens when we make 5 subs? We go to pot because the control disappears.
And that happened in the derby as well, didn't it? You know,
yeah. You can't just make sub and expect everything to stay the same. You're bringing on kids for debuts, and it doesn't work. It just amazes me. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a mood today.
Oh, hey,
yeah, I think we can tell.
We've welcomed Riz as well. Riz, how much did your bail cost you, mate?
I've just literally got out now, so it was a 6pence and an 8p.
Oh, come on.
Hey,
About it.
John's
got a great connection from Germany.
Yeah, nice to see you fully clothed as well.
You normally see him not fully clothed, Anne-Marie.
Thankfully not.
So, Riz,
She's seen the pictures.
So come on, Riz. John was with you, and apparently you got done and held in Germany for running naked down the street.
Well, what can I say? I was trying to be like a scouser. I couldn't find myself a fountain, so I just sat outside a bar. It's all good.
So, did you enjoy your trip, boys, anyway?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It was
a long one, but it was a good one.
Yeah, 4 days.
It's not the first time you've said that, is it?
Don't set him off coughing again. He's brought a lurgy back with him.
So, Riz, we've just been talking about the Bournemouth match. Give us your thoughts on the Bournemouth match, mate.
Which one was that? Was that the 4-1 one?
Yes.
I can't remember. I've been watching that much football recently.
They keep blending in, don't they, mate?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I think we were a lot better. We're still not 100% or near it. I don't think. There's a lot of decent performances, and we did okay. But I just still think there's something missing and not right yet.
No, I agree. Big Morgan, he says Martin's everywhere. Bless him. Hey, we only have the best on here, Big Morgan.
Oh, see you later then, lads. And Anne-Marie, ta-da. I'm going.
So yeah,
I've not even seen you yet, mate. Your camera's not been on.
Apparently tomorrow, City. Where is it? Charlie said City are actually flying to Bristol. It's a half an hour flight.
Well, why not?
No, I think it'll take them longer.
It's a coach journey, doesn't it? If you.
Thing is, you can't rely on trains these days, can you? So you've got to do something.
Is anyone going tomorrow? Are you going tomorrow, Rez?
No, I'm not going.
No, I'm not, mate. No, I can't.
I'm just going to say
the week. I've just had 4 days.
Big up to anyone. So big up to anyone who's doing that journey tomorrow.
I know a few lads that are doing it.
Absolutely,
my word.
So good. Yeah. Well done for them for going down that on a Tuesday.
Just off topic, have you seen how much Bristol City have charged for tomorrow night?
I was just about to say the same thing, Martin.
38
That's
quid.
madness. Oh, 48 quid's the cheapest.
What?
48.
Yeah.
48 the cheapest, and then it goes up from there. Talk about rinsing the fans.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? That's not good.
Thing is, how much are they charging their home fans? Do we know?
£5.
No, that is the home fans.
That is the home fans.
Yeah. City fans have only paid about 28, something like that.
Yeah.
Have the club subsidised it?
No.
That's ridiculous. Talk about ripping your own fans off.
Well, they're getting television money as well.
They're only here for City, aren't they?
Yeah, because we're on ITV tomorrow night.
Are we on council telly tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean Lee Dixon's going to slag us off again, even though he's a City fan?
Yes.
Well, if it isn't him, it'll be Alan McCoist.
So there, the ticker going. What is your thoughts on Pep's different formations? Like, yes, on Saturday, he baffled me a little bit again.
That's not hard, though, is it, Andy? Come on.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't hard. But why can't we just play a traditional 4-4-2 or something?
Because he's never done that.
No,
I'll be honest with you. I'm totally happy with the formation, and that might seem baffling to some. But if you go back to his prime Barcelona days, he played this 3-2-2-3 back then.
Yeah.
And if you go back to his early games in the Champions League, like Lyon away, wanted to play back three. I don't think Garcia was the answer to playing a back three, though. But he's always wanted to do this. He sort of dipped in and out from it. But I think it's the right formation with the wrong personnel. But I understand why he's doing it, because some of this personnel probably won't be there in the summer, and we'll bring in players to suit this personnel. It's why Rico Lewis fits in so well, because they play this system from like the under sevens, under eights, under nines. So Rico Lewis has played this for 6 years, from the under sixes all the way up since Pep's been there. So it's why he fits in like a glove with it. It's just certain players sadly won't. It's why all the pacey wingers have gone. It's why the wing backs have gone, because they don't fit into this three at the back, 3-2-2-3. Because he wants to overload the midfield to have control. It's all about control with him. And that's why he does it, to overload into midfield. And plus, we've got to give opposition the props. Opposition, every time, we can't for 5 years keep expecting to steamroll everyone and no one was going to figure us out. So what he's done, we keep coming up against a flat back eight. So he's changed it now. And, it's for the opposition to figure it out. Yeah, I know it's slower. I know it's more frustrating. But to me, there is an ends to a means to it. There is a means to an end, to it. It's just certain players. Like if we get Gvardiol, we get Bellingham, for example, they will fit into this system. It's just getting the right personnel to suit it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, Martin. But for me, I understand that other teams have now worked us out to some extent, and they know the best way to get us is to hit us on the break. So if we can see that and other teams can see that, it begs the question, why isn't Pep seeing it? Because I think at times we're leaving ourselves open to it.
Do you think, Anne-Marie, that we're being accused now, not us five on here, City are being accused now of being boring now, aren't they? But I think it explains everything what we're talking about here, like, 10 men behind the ball and stuff like that. You're pretty much trying to score against a brick wall at times.
No, and you're right again in what you're saying, but at the same time, we're never going to break through that 10-man wall by tipping and tapping the ball backwards, sideways, across the pitch. It's because
maybe we're hoping they fall asleep.
That's where Haaland comes into it. He'll get 9 out of 10 of them.
But we're not doing that, are we, Andy? We're still persisting with the sideways passing.
Thing is, Pep,
do you know what I think it is? Sorry, go on, John.
Pep won't have him just chucking balls into the box because it loses your possession. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It goes back to Madrid.
Yeah.
Go back to that Madrid game away last year. Go back to Newcastle earlier on in the season. He doesn't want ping-pong football. It's why he keeps coming out saying, I don't just want to go gung-ho, and then I want everyone's got to go as a unit, because if we don't go as a unit, which is why it's slower, is you've got to score that chance, because if you don't score that chance, they get you on the break, and you're all out of position.
I think this is a means to an end, me. I think the team's transitioning completely, and we've now got before we didn't have a plan B. We didn't have a target man and all the rest of it. We've had to develop this false number 9 whatever you want to call it. So we've mastered that. Other teams have sussed us out. So we're now trying to master slow, quick kind of football where we're doing the slow bit at the moment. We've just got to get the players and the personnel on board to be able to do the quick bit. So literally, you can lull the opposition into thinking, oh yeah, they're just going to pass it out. We'll sit a flat back 8, catch them on the break. But then when they do catch us on the break and we win it back, we can basically go the other end. Then once we get the personnel tuned into a new system, so we've got potentially 2/3 new systems that we can use, as opposed to just the one that we had last year, which got us goals and was entertaining, but teams have sussed us out. But we've now got Haaland, and we've got we've actually got Alvarez that can, it knows where the goal is. Once we get them two into it and incorporate that into the system, then I think we're going to be unplayable because the opposition won't have a clue what we're going to do next.
Yeah, John, how many times have we seen where Haaland, you just know he's already split the centre halves, but we're not playing that ball. He will eat them defenders for lunch. He's always split them. Get that ball over. I think we saw it early on in the season. Was it an Edison assist where he just banged one away? That is Haaland, one of Haaland's strengths for me. So why we're not doing it more often, I'll never know.
Because we're frightened of losing the ball. We're frightened of losing possession. Because if he doesn't get it, then basically we're all upfield near their goal and they'll just hit us on the break. And we can't risk losing the ball that often. There's times when it does a run and we see that there's space and that lot, but the other players, it's a different perspective to them. We don't, they don't see what we're seeing.
Yeah. Charlie's come up with a point there. Every game the media call us, our Man City too predictable. I think City fans are saying that as well, aren't they? It's not just the media or anybody else. It's because I think we can pretty much nail on see what we're going to do next. Sometimes it's like, it's like we've just been beat 4-1, but we can still have a good chit chat about it. It's like sometimes it's like the pass is 2 seconds too slower than what we used to. When we go at a high tempo, no team can live with us. But sometimes it'll go for, say, a Kanje. He'll take a couple of passes, a couple of touches, and then he'll play it to Walker or Mahrez when they've been free for like 5 seconds. Just seems a little bit, like you say, quick, slow sometimes.
We seem to. We don't know what Pep's telling him to do to start with, but at the moment it seems like there's a few players that are stuck in two minds. I mean, Foden, with that sort of shot, slip, whatever it was that he gave to Haaland, he was in two minds, and I think some players are sort of like thinking, excuse me, they're just thinking like, it's a germ from Germany. Yeah. So they're just, I think some of the players are caught in two minds. We are transitioning. We can't just play the same way every season because Pep doesn't do that anyway. He likes to mess things up, mix things up.
Thing is, when you're saying that we're predictable, all teams are predictable. When they come to the Etihad, we know what's going to happen. We know that they're going to park the bus and try and hit on the counter. So it's not just us that are predictable; it's them as well.
Most of them, we have had the teams like Brentford and that, and even Brighton. They've come to the Etihad and they've tried to really outplay us at football, and all credit to them. And then you get teams like the Rags who've come and stuff like that, who park the bus and try to catch us on the counter and stuff. But yeah, we are seeing it more and more now. So right, I'm gonna throw one across the ticker here, and I've put this on for a reason. You might laugh. Are City still in the title race?
Of course they are, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not even answering that one.
Arsenal are not.
Now we're getting relegated.
No, we can't. Now we've got enough points.
Oh. All right.
Right. No, because
I tell you the team that worries me, and that's United. I didn't think I'd be saying that at the beginning of this season, but they've got momentum building. They've got VAR. They've got this momentum buzzing round. They've got it all, haven't they? So it's a fairy tale story again, isn't it? United out of it, and then you can see it written in the stars with the Premier League loves stuff like that. To come off the railings and win the Premier League when everyone thought it was just City and Arsenal.
Are we bitter? Are we bitter or biased when I say their first goal was offside at Wembley yesterday?
Yeah,
a little.
It
I don't
was
think it's being
offside.
bitter, mate. It's not being bitter. It's just saying what you see, and that's the facts that you've just produced.
Say what you see and see what you see. Roy Walker.
Indeed, Kyle's dad, by the way.
It's factual. It's not bitter. It's factual.
No,
Yeah, it's factual.
no, and they do concern me, United.
It's not.
I mean, look at the Leicester game. They bent the line to make him onside.
Yeah,
It's not the team that that I'm worried about. It's the referees basically giving them everything they can do.
Yeah.
I think if we're on a level playing field, we'll win the league.
Yeah,
But it's not a level playing field, is it? Because these decisions. I mean, there was one the other day where the keeper completely cleaned somebody out, and nothing given.
Mm.
I mean, you might laugh at me with this. Does anyone go on Blue Moon Forum?
no.
Not anymore, no.
No, not
No,
anymore.
because you might think so. Yeah, I get it. I understand. There was a guy on there who said, when they went to that Premier League meeting, when all the chief execs met to talk about City's charges. Apparently, City have got a recording of a referee and a VAR talking to each other, and apparently it's from the derby that City are just waiting on at the moment, and they will release it if they have to do. But it will turn the Premier League upside down if it gets released, because apparently it's very, very
Damning.
dubious. It's very damning towards United and towards the Premier League.
Right,
And
so
it's apparently it's to do with that Rashford goal.
They should just release it anyway.
right, we've always City fans have always been accused of being paranoid, smacked asses, etc., etc. But we was accused of that because of the Champions League and stuff. What UEFA threw at us, we proved we was right on there, and other teams, certain other teams, I should say, are actually facing the same as what we had by bad decisions and stuff. And by the way, we should have had a penalty right at the end against Leipzig on last week as well.
Yeah,
that was a clear. Well, you're not going to get a clear handball, are you? So that's by the by. And now,
Volleyball.
now the Premier League are after us, and now we see more and more things come out, like the Rashford goal. These bucket loads of instances. So I think this is going to get really, really, really messy. I really do. If they do try to take us to court and stuff like that, I agree with Martin. I think we'll end up throwing the book at them, not the other way around.
You're not telling me that with City and all the money and all the resources and all the rest of it, and the guile that we've obviously got behind the scenes, you're not telling me that we're not going to get proactive against these people that could be potentially suing us, taking us to court, and getting us ultimately kicked out of the league. You're not telling me we're not going to do our homework. And I've heard that story before, Martin, and I think there's some legs in it, and I think that's why they got rid of that guy the other week. We had a bad game at weekend, and then he left.
Phil
Mason.
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy on our channel called Rich who's just come back from Abu Dhabi, funnily enough, on a business meeting. And that's all they're talking about over there. But they're not talking about it from a City perspective. They're talking about it from a UK government perspective. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we kind of give them a load of money, and now they're doing this to one of our biggest influences over there.
Yeah.
And apparently really is being talked about, and not in a good light of this could even affect the UK government going forward over there.
Yeah. Yeah, it could. They just signed a big deal, haven't they? To like a big trade deal and stuff like that. And, that's definitely under question now because of, what the Premier League are doing to their, we can say it, he owns Abu Dhabi because we're state-owned and everything, aren't we, according to everybody else? So, we might as well just join in and agree with it.
So do we own the government as well then?
Yeah, there's one there. Greetings, Super City. It said United offside goals in the last 3 games. We have clear handball against, RB last week, ignored. Haaland pulled back versus Forest, absolutely. Arsenal comedy penalty, absolutely, mate. So this is what I'm trying to say about we will have justification whichever way it goes. Why we're so-called paranoid or anything like that. We've not mentioned it. You might have done when I wasn't here, but what do people? Because me and John went, so I've not really seen it too much. What about their goal? Because it seemed to me like it was a definite infringement on Diaz.
Diaz,
yeah. We've not seen it in a long time, Rez.
Yeah, it was a classic. He couldn't jump because he was all pinning him down on his shoulders. So that's an infringement all day of the week. But nothing seems to get mentioned about it from what I've heard.
No, but then
it's like foul.
It was a foul, but it's like the penalty at the end. I don't even, as far as I'm aware, I don't even think VAR looked at it.
No. And that's the worrying thing. I can understand it. Well, no, I can't understand it, but I kind of accept it that if VAR look at it and for whatever reason they've come up with, it's not a goal. But when they're not looking at it, and you can tell when it's going to be a contentious decision because the TV don't show all the angles and all the lines to back up against for City, if you like. They only show the angles and stuff so that it agrees with the decision against City. If that makes sense.
Well, there was a video that came out afterwards, weren't they, showing apparently the handball, saying it hit his arm, but they didn't actually play the full video. They stopped it before it actually hit his hands, so it looked like it just hit his arm. But they just basically they can do it, manipulate what they want. But end of the day, when it comes down to it, we've just got to play his game. We've got to be more ruthless. And we've got to make sure that VAR doesn't actually interfere with us winning the league.
Because let's have it right. If we'd have put our chances away in all the games we've played in recently, we wouldn't have needed these dubious decisions. And that's the key to it. So, the argument is, we might be predictable, we might be boring, but if we actually put our chances away, we're creating plenty of chances, and we could be destroying teams, even playing like we're playing.
Here's one from Charlie, and I'd like your gauge on this one. Actually, Neil Swarbrick is stepping down as well at the end of the season, the VAR chief. Now, my thought on this, guys, obviously you'll have your own. Is it because the heat is all since the Premier League started accusing us of this, that, and the other? The heat is starting to go back on them, and all these little things what will come out, and I think they're just trying to save their own asses before anything potentially happens. Whether it's they're falling
on the swords, aren't they?
I can tell
the old term of the running away from the problem that's out there that they've created. They all know that it's fixed. They all know it's like corrupt, so they're all sort of getting out while they can, I think.
But
he's not stepping down on his own accord. He's being told to step down because VAR is having a massive shake-up at the end of the season. And I've heard now that they're actually not having referees doing the VAR. It's going to be an actual company doing it.
Who's bought VAR? Shake up. So is that more oil money going into them?
Shaking back more like, yeah.
The interesting thing is, though, is that if you remember back to I think last season when Everton thought they should have had a penalty against us because Rodri allegedly handled the ball and he didn't get the penalty, and VAR came out and I think they apologised to Everton. And yet we've seen Arsenal lose or draw with Brentford. And again, it was a slightly dodgy decision, but everyone neglects to mention that Brentford scored a perfectly good goal in the first half that was disallowed.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And VAR apologised to Arsenal. And I'm pretty convinced, I'm sure Howard Webb said that under normal circumstances, the goal against us by
The
United
Rashford one wouldn't have stood.
Wouldn't have stood. But I never heard the words, "we're sorry."
Nope.
Which tells me all I need to know.
You know, he said if it happened again, it won't be given, didn't he? Simple as.
Yeah, it's a joke. The VAR, I mean, I think statistically we are the ones who got the worst breaks on VAR this season. I think I saw some on ESPN. I think we're at the top of the worst decisions, you know, who's basically getting the rough end of VAR, which tells you everything you need to know. I mean, you can remember, Andy, I said 2 weeks ago when you were on ours, I said, I think the Premier League have made a mistake by throwing. I don't think they actually realise what they've done. And I think they threw that much paint at a wall, hoping something stuck, that I think they've gone, oh, hang on a minute. Because I'm telling you now, City in the Premier League will have spoken since.
Yeah.
Lawyers will have, Panic, whatever it's called, we will have already spoken to their lawyers. And I'm telling you now, this is why a lot of this is happening. A lot of things are starting to, like Riz said, they're getting rid of all their dead wood out the door. They're getting rid of evidence. And, you know, it started with Mark Halsey about 2 weeks ago, didn't it? When he came out with his statement saying that the PGMOL told them to do certain things.
No, apparently he's gone absolutely mad, Mark Halsey, because it's not true what he said, and he's going from legally or something. Here's one for you, just about what we were just talking about then, about the points and stuff like that. Super City says, if you corrected decisions in United and City games, we'd be 25 points clear of them. Yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No,
makes we should be.
Makes a massive difference. It's a way of corrupting the game. It's a way of turning it into WF wrestling.
Thing is, isn't it match fixing? Simple as.
Yeah, but not fixing it for the bookies. I don't think it's geared up for that. I think it's geared up to make it an interesting interesting for the TV viewers. Yeah. It's to make it entertaining.
But it's still match fixing.
Of course it is. I mean, I was in I don't know how much creed you put to these things, but I was in a Twitter space with a load of rags and Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans. And they basically all said that they would love nothing more than Arsenal, Liverpool and United to all be fighting for the title, because that's what the Premier League needs and wants. So even all their fans even want that. They know exactly what all this is about. It's to put the monopolisation back at the top with them in red shirts and keep ourselves, Chelsea and Newcastle, out of it. Yeah. Because they don't want it in.
Yeah.
Quite simple.
Absolutely, 100%. It doesn't sell subscriptions, does it?
Really?
You know, if City's doing well, the subscriptions don't get sold, do they? For the for the Sky and all the rest of it.
Here's one for him. I'm sure it's your friend. Can we have some air fryer chat from Andy Jones?
Oh yeah.
Oh, listen. I've just had an air fryer tea myself. Steak and chips, peppercorn sauce. Oh, heaven!
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we was late going live, because we was waiting for Riz having his tea.
I literally walked in through the door, air fryer on, steak and chips. You don't get this at other podcasts. You know, this is what we talk about. We're gonna have steak Canadians next week, so it's like a proper pub.
Yeah.
He's been eating bratwurst for 4 days. Leave him alone.
Oh, tell me about it.
Hey,
Listen.
hey, hang on, it's a family show here. Come on.
Yeah,
come
I
on,
know.
come
I
on.
know.
What are you doing on it then?
I can't answer that one.
I was surprised. He's
Not
not
even- somebody called Patrick Harkin. Sometimes we should pass to Haaland like Leicester used to do for Vardy in his prime. Haaland would eat defenders. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick.
Does anyone think Haaland's been doing better? Is it me, or has Haaland been doing far better when he's coming back and getting involved into the game in the midfield?
Yeah,
I think he has.
Yeah,
I think he's been told he's got to pull his weight. He's got to get running around. It happened to Aguero, didn't it, when Pep first got there? And everyone was saying, he's had a big fallout and this, that, and the other. And he basically lost a bit of weight, gained some more pace, went looking for the ball, went grafting, helping midfield out, and got back to his greatest again. So you've got to trust the process, I think.
Is Erling Haaland?
Well, do you want to read that one out, John, from Super City?
It's so weird that any football fan can support a cartel. I just want an even cake. Let's bring in real FFP so all clubs have a chance. Real FFP should have been brought in originally, but they found out that it didn't stop City, so they changed it and let the cartel clubs do what they want, basically.
Do you know what makes me fume about FFP? What's going on at Southend right now? That's what FFP was meant to do. What is about to happen to Southend United? I don't know if they're going to get out of it tomorrow or not. I don't know if they've had an extension, but you've got a manager and players there who have gone two years nearly with no wages. And it's a great little club. I remember being down there when King Clancy scored and we won 3-2 or 3-0 or whatever it was. I think that was a stupid midweek game as well. It was a cracking midweek game, and they're about to go bye-bye out the club, out of non-existence. Oldham Athletic. This is what FFP was meant to stop. Wasn't meant to stop Manchester City. It's like me saying to you lot, all of you have won 20, 30 million quid, but you can't spend any of it. It's not your money.
Yeah. It's
You've not
ridiculous.
earned it. And any business, anyone who owns a business, you've got to spend money in the first 2 or 3 years to make money. That's the way businesses work.
You end up going into negative equity, don't you, until it's actually starting.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah, Neil said, I've said for years that football should go for Nigel Owens as head of VAR refereeing, as long as it's nothing to do with Michael Owens, mate.
The thing is,
and Neil also said, "Good evening, guys." What about Jen?
Good evening, Neil.
Evening, Neil. The thing is,
he did say evening, gents, and AM. Thank you.
Oh, I thought it meant it's AM and it's PM. Sorry.
What Neil said there about Nigel Owens makes sense, and they don't do things like that, do they? You know what I mean? It doesn't suit the agenda.
No, here's one from Stuart. Everyone takes time to learn the Pep way. Absolutely. We found that with Sterling. Haaland's goals have hidden the fact that he's still learning. I agree with that. Next season is going to be even scarier. There's still a lot more to come from Haaland. I think everyone agrees on that, don't they? Because, his game's changed a little bit as well. I forget which one said now. I think it was Martin, where he's dropping back more now. So he's more or less dropping back deep, getting the ball, passing it, and then hammering it forward to be on the end of something. And I think that's going to... Well, in fact, look at the ticker there. His agent has actually said he's worth £1 billion now. Would you go with that?
No.
Or she smoking illegal substances?
Yeah, definitely.
I think by the end of his contract with us, he will be.
Yeah.
No player's worth that. No player.
I've not got my lawyer with me, so I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, Super City says that's what makes me laugh with all this. But what if you are found guilty? How on earth can you be guilty of breaking corrupt rules? You know,
Well, that's the be all and end all of it, isn't it? Because the decent lawyers, which we have got, are going to completely tear this case apart, completely destroy it. So I don't know what the Premier League were thinking of when they took it on. To be honest,
the Premier League panicked.
Yeah, big time.
They panicked because they were trying to avoid this white paper from the government. So they had to, and it is still coming, and they had to be seen to do something to show that, and if we use the term loosely, they were in control.
And it's funny how City were the only ones who wanted it.
Yeah.
Because we know what we're up against, don't we? I'd like to say hi to Mikey as well. Mikey is sort of like a Chelsea fan come City fan.
He likes blue then. He likes the colour blue.
Likes a bit of blue for the dads. Yeah. So I just think it's all corrupt, to be fair. FIFA player says, news reporters say Alvarez wants out.
Oh, no, he won't be wanting out.
You don't listen to the media, mate.
I know.
You know, it's one thing the media saying it. It's even worse if City fans start actually believing it.
Did anybody see in the media about Cancelo? All this kicking up? No, we didn't see anything. All of a sudden, Cancelo's gone. That shows how much the actual media know. They know nothing.
Yeah, 100%. I think we called it on air the other week where we were saying, I think you said it, John, where we've got really good now at keeping stuff out of the press.
Yeah.
For years everybody knew stuff before the fans, before anybody. There was leaks like a sieve. Now you know nothing.
No, there's nothing.
You hear these stories. We're going for him, and then we don't go for them. We go for someone else, and they just guess. They can guess these days because there's no accountability.
The stories that get leaked about players being signed it's funny actually, because when the papers leak it, then United seem to go for them, and it just totally goes wrong.
Yeah, and they end up bobbins, don't they, and paying over the odds for them.
They do.
But no, we're a different beast to any other team in football. We're the best run. We're a massive business. We're not playing at it. We're a massive business, and for these so-called the Premier League and all the UEFA and all the rest of it, they don't know what they're dealing with because they've dealt with muppets. They've dealt with idiots who Peter Swales, who used his solicitor that probably ran his solicitor for his business. They've used them. Yeah. Now these are specialist, proper lawyers who will go through anything to get a win.
Who's the head of the Premier League at the moment?
VAR. Right, let me ask you this then, right? I'll start off with you, Riz. Now you've warmed up. Where is all this going to end? What's going to be the outcome? Is it going to be a Super League? Won't we face that if it went to a Super League? Won't we face exactly the same with a so-called cartel like your Barca's, your Real Madrid, etc., where they'll still be trying to stick the knife in?
No, I think hopefully if depends what happens with this white paper. If the white paper works out how us as genuine, honest fans want it, it's so we get a level playing field. And yeah, if your owners have got a load of money and it is their own money, it's not hard to prove, then crack on. And what we need to do is make sure that whoever's in charge of this now they're completely accountable. That's all we ask for is accountability. VAR's accountable. We want to see referees coming out at the end of the games and explaining the decisions. We want to see all that. We want to get rid of all the negativity that's around the football, and let's get back to actually playing the football rather than all the off the field antics. It's pathetic.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
thing is, with this government, the more money a club makes, the more money the players get paid, the more money the government makes because they get taxed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
I get
government are
that.
going to be trying to make this as massive as they can because they'll
Right,
make more money out of it.
Let's get back onto the pitch then. Play Bristol City in the FA Cup tomorrow, live on Council TV. What can you see the lineup and that being? Do you reckon Pep will go strong, even by starting De Bruyne? You know, because he's not been.
I think De Bruyne will start. I think you might see
I think he's out.
John Stones. Say again.
I think De Bruyne's out. I think Pep said it. He's still ill.
He said he's still ill, but he's getting better. So, by tomorrow, you never know.
Yeah, but regardless of De Bruyne on his own, could you? What sort of Ortega's nailed on to start, isn't he? You know,
Yeah,
what would you bat for be or back one?
I think you back one. You've got to start Aki, but I think he might start with the young lad. What's his name?
Gomez.
I think he might start with him.
Oh God!
The voice of doom there.
Is Stan turned up, is he?
Yeah.
You watched him play.
I think Grealish will get. I think Grealish will get a night off. I can see Foden going over there, over on the left, and Mahrez starting on the right.
Oh, Mahrez. Oh, yeah.
I wonder what you meant then when you said go over there. Go over where? The pub?
Yeah. Go over there on the train.
So, do you reckon he should start tomorrow, Mahrez?
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
I love you too.
Do you, Anne-Marie?
No, I think we start Bernardo.
You can start Bernardo as well in that midfield. Because I think Phillips will start ahead of Rodri. I just think Rodri's been brilliant this season, by the way.
Yeah, but he needs a rest. He looks shabby.
Why is he a snooker player?
No, he doesn't.
I think we have to have him on the bench, though, at the least.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Because
Just in case.
if Phillips plays like he did against Southampton, we could be in trouble again.
I think we've just got I feel for Phillips because he's getting a shitty end of the stick, but I think he's got to get time to play in that team, and he's not getting it because Rodri's so good. But I think this is an opportunity to put him in there, and I think he'll do all right, once he gets a bit of a run.
You say that, but then he came on against Leipzig, didn't he, last week? And the first thing he did was get whooped.
Yeah.
I'm really stuck on Phillips. I'm
Pep
stuck
will
on
turn
the
him
lad.
into a left back. Don't worry about it.
No, but I said this the other night at our show. If Phillips was 23, 24, I'd be like, yeah, it's his first year, give him time. 27.
Yeah.
Is he?
I don't actually know what Phillips's long-term plan is, because is he willing to play back up the rest of his career? Because at 27, 28, you should be biting at the bit to play first team.
Yeah.
He ain't
I'm stuck on him.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on Phillips. It was like I feel as though we bought him to stop somebody else getting him.
Yeah, that's
I've never felt like that about anybody. But I just, because he's older than Rodri, it baffles me a little bit. And
true.
If he was 32, 33, you're all right with backup. But when you're 27, 28, you're meant to be in the prime of your career. You should be desperate for first team football. He's never going to get that with Rodri in front of him. So I'm a bit baffled with it.
Yeah, it's a good point, that. I didn't realise he was that old, to be honest.
No, I didn't either. I thought he was about 24.
I've got another spin on it. I don't think it's a case of he can't get in because of because of how Rodri's playing. Don't get me wrong, Rodri's playing brilliantly, as I said a couple of minutes ago. I think it's because Pep's not got that trust in him yet. I can also see him being shuffled off in the summer.
Possibly.
Back to Leeds on loan.
No, there's talk of West Ham. So, if you could do a deal in, take Declan Rice in Part X, who knows? I think Declan Rice would bring Rodri's game out even more, if I'm honest, because.
But you'd have the same problem, Andy. Declan Rice ain't going to come in as backup.
No, he's not, and he's not as good as Rodri.
No, but if he comes in on the premise of listen, whoever's playing the better plays, it's fair play then.
But
I'm not sure players look at it that way.
No, they want to play every game, don't they? And if Declan Rice, if he's playing every game at West Ham, then he ain't going to come to City and sit on the bench.
Do you agree with Adam Quinn there about tomorrow? City will win easy 5 or 6-0.
Potentially, we should.
6-1. We're bound to concede.
They're on a good run, Bristol.
Yeah,
they've lost one in about 14 games.
That's my Bristols are on a good run. That's why I'm covering them up tonight, Martin.
Your Bristols went on a good run and gave you black eyes, mate.
I'm expecting a really strong team tomorrow.
I am, mate, to be fair. Because
City. I think City will put a strong team out.
Yeah, we've got another tough game Saturday, though. Early kick-off against Newcastle.
Well, that's what I was just going to come on to. I think
the oil derby.
Newcastle is proper. I reckon that's going to be a proper ding-dong on Saturday. Yeah, I don't like 12:30 kickoffs, and I just think Newcastle will be a bit wounded, and I reckon they'll come at us. That is a banana skin.
No.
Yeah, but if they come at us, that'll suit us. So
yeah. I think Pep will look at Ten Hag, how he played against Newcastle, and learn everything he's done off Ten Hag, you know what I mean? Because if you look at the way United played, they played big part of the bus, didn't they, against Newcastle? And they just picked him off.
Yeah, I just think it's a real tough one that on Saturday. I don't know. Am I right in saying we go top of the league if we beat Newcastle because we play early?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we? Because Arsenal got a game midweek.
Yeah, they have actually. Yeah, they have. They play Everton.
Oh, they got Villa. Is it Villa? Not Villa.
No, it's Everton, I think. Everton, Everton. It's the game that they had on over us, isn't it? That's the one they make up.
The game in hand.
How come they're not playing in the FA Cup?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's because Man City knocked them out by any chance.
Yeah, would be the same reason Liverpool are playing in the league on Wednesday night as well, rather than the FA Cup.
You know what really did my head in about this, the Carabao Cup?
The what cup? The what cup?
Carabao.
The Carabao, yeah. It tickles.
I like to call it the Carabao.
The Carabao.
I like to call
like
it
like the Bernabeu. It's the Carabao.
Let's call it the League Cup then, huh?
That's the one. Yeah.
Milk
I think
Cup.
it's good made in with that. We played all the top teams and knocked them out, and then just basically handed the reins over to United to go on and win it.
Oh, we gifted it then.
We did.
Listen, it's only what we've done in the years gone by. We've lent them ground. We've given them shirts. It's something that we're familiar with doing over the years.
Am I the only one who felt really sad yesterday not being there and felt really weird?
Yeah,
funnily
enough, Martin. I said to my lad Adam when we was watching it yesterday, when the national anthem come on, I went, bloody hell, son. I said it's weird watching it on the screen here. We're normally there singing it.
I know. I feel weird not having my February day out.
I felt violated. Like somebody had broken into me, into my game. We should have been there, and it's like we'd rented the ground out.
That happened in Germany, I believe.
Yeah, I look.
Was anything said about all those empty seats up in the third tier for the rags? Was anything said about that?
I said plenty on my Facebook page, mate. Don't worry. I got the fishing rod out.
No, all I heard today was the usual blank fest, should we call it, on TalkSport, where they were saying what fantastic fans both teams were. They did the clubs proud. They were walking down Wembley Way together. They were singing. It was an absolutely fantastic day out.
Free scarves.
So nothing was said about Newcastle going silent for 90 minutes then? Because my mate's a Newcastle fan, he went and he said, we were great before the game, great after the game, we just didn't sing during it.
Yep.
Went into silence.
On Saturday, on Saturday we've got Grealish versus Almiron. Super City said, you know something? He played like a chicken nugget. I don't even know why I said a chicken nugget. It just was. It was terrible yesterday.
They've got some injuries, Newcastle. Bruno went off. He got injured by the pitch. I think Almiron was a bit dodgy yesterday, injury-wise. So I don't think they might not be playing on Saturday.
Who's the one that's got like the very, very dark, bushy eyebrows and looks like a baddie out of Thunderbirds?
That's Almiron.
Almiron.
Is that Almiron? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almiron.
Yeah. He looks like a light-skinned version of. Yeah. He looks like a light-skinned version of Jesus. Doesn't he?
So yeah, have you not got a mute button, Riz?
No.
Yeah, so that's excellent. And then we've the match after that on the 11th.
Believe me.
We've got Palace away on the 11th. That's a 5:30 kickoff. That's a tricky one. And then the return leg of Leipzig on the 14th of March.
Keeping you awake, Paul.
Oh, I'm in the South Stand for that.
Mm-hmm. So I'll keep
the South Stand.
Yeah, sorry, Andy. I'm leaving the family stand for the South Stand for Leipzig.
Oh, you want to do some singing, don't you, Martin? That's the key.
We do as a favour, Martin. When you go there, we try and get Riz in on time.
No chance.
I'll be sat there. I'll be stood there on my own.
Well, you probably will be, Martin, because the South Stand don't like to come in till 10 minutes after kick-off.
Yep.
But don't forget, they generate the atmosphere.
You're right.
No, I've got to get in for the light show.
John.
Oh yeah.
Read that one from Super City.
We should sign Chicken Nugget next season. 85 million should do it. Who's Chicken Nugget?
That's what I said, isn't it? I said he played like
Almiron.
A chicken nugget.
I won't give 85 million for Almiron.
No, it's called a joke. That don't they have jokes in Warrington?
No.
Yeah. I'm not even going there.
You only come to visit once a day when you go to work.
So right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll wrap it up there. Unless you've got anything else to say.
Wish Eddie luck with his fundraising on Friday night.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, is it this Friday?
Yeah, it's this Friday, Riz.
Good job, you reminded me.
Blue Monday says Colin Bell stand. Silence is golden.
And Blue Monday is very correct in what he's saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's
what do you expect when you put a tunnel club in?
Is Colin Bell stand? Is that next to the family stand?
It
kind of blends in.
Stand and the family stand, you know.
No, because the Colin Bell built a tunnel club and kicked fans out.
It's where I sit.
Ah, right. Yeah. So
as well.
Grealish was right.
About Almiron. Grealish was right anyway.
Yeah, he was right.
About Almiron.
Oh, forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah. Right, guys. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks for joining us, Martin. Anybody who's not aware of Martin, I'm sure they are, get over to the Mancunian Way podcast. Yeah, you can get it on YouTube and stuff like that. It's always a brilliant listen and watch. Oh, sorry, but it's got to change the name now to the Cunian Way.
Yeah.
Which
I'll change it tomorrow. Remind me.
Yeah.
We'll soon be at Chester City. You know, the world's gone mad on it.
Well, I've got to keep Sam Smith happy.
The weather's turning cold anyway. All the snowflakes will be
I'd
absent.
like to keep Sam Smith happy, I'm telling you now.
Right, on that note, I think we had enough of that in Germany. Right, guys. Good luck to Eddie on his fundraising. I'll be there. John will be there.
I'll be there now. I'll be there now. You reminded me.
Hey, we might even do a drunken pubcast from there.
And there's still 4 tickets going, by the way.
Yeah, I think there's still 4 tickets. So if anybody wants to go, you know, the last 4 tickets, and that's only because sadly there's been a bereavement in the family.
There's tickets going for this do on Friday night. If you want to go?
I think Anne-Marie should go.
She's
I
already
can't,
out.
unfortunately. I'm already out.
Well, send me the details, and I'll have a look.
Yeah, jump on our group in a bit, Martin, and we'll link you to it, buddy.
All right, mate.
All right, thanks,
cheers, Martin.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks for joining
buddy.
us.
Cheers.
See
you later, mate.
Thanks for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
Eventually. Cheers, John. Cheers, Anne-Marie. Have a
No
good
worries,
week.
Andy.
See you
Take
later.
care, everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Are we all going to sync